Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today, as you can see by the thumbnail, we're going to talk a little bit about automotive parts. So I will bring them up on the workbench here, or the table, one at a time, and we'll discuss a few things. So I'll be right back. Well, as you can see here, I have a plethora of automotive items that we as car guys are going to either buy this year, or we use a lot of, or not a lot of. But again, I just want to go through a few of some of these car items that we may encounter or need to use this year. And number one, mainly, how might tariffs affect us if they go into effect, and how might not tariffs affect us if it goes into effect. And again, actually, where some of these favorite brands of your parts are actually made, and if a tariff will actually hit them. So on the AC Delco spark plugs, again, we've all known that these are always made in the USA at some point, but again, they have to disclose where they're actually making these now. So on the back of the box, these spark plugs, I don't know if you can get in there clear or not, but these spark plugs are now a product of Mexico. So assuming that, we should be fine buying spark plugs this year if we decide to buy AC Delcos. This is all I have on hand here, but if we decide to buy AC Delco spark plugs for our classics, again, we shouldn't really see any tariffs on them because they're made in Mexico. So we should be able to import those directly from Mexico to Canada without having to worry about any tariffs. And again, if it's imported into the States from Mexico, there could be a tariff on it, which then would be passed on to us importing it from Canada, or importing it from the States into Canada. So I'm not sure about that. You could let me know. CR seals, they're again a staple of us guys, you know, resealing rear ends and axles and transmissions, engines. CR seals are now, flip it over again if you can see it. I don't know if that'll focus or not, I can't tell. These are now a product of Mexico. So the same thing would probably apply here. I've got a Napa Gold fuel filter here. And again, it is a product, and if I can read the fine print, this is also a product of Mexico. So again, with these other two items, does the same thing apply here? A lot of you guys might be changing or replacing or putting a brand new thermostat in your car this year. Again, this thermostat, Bell Camp, which is distributed by Napa Auto Parts, and it is made in, it says see product for origin, so they don't really tell us on here, or they do. Okay, it's very hard to read on here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Again, stop the video if you like. This is actually a product of Israel. So importing this into Canada with whatever duties and taxes or tariffs are on this already, we should be fine with, you know, with a thermostat. I've got a flame thrower coil to put on the car this year. It's made by Pertronics, and again, if you can see this product is made in China. So if the US imports this to China and sends it to Canada, there'll be a tariff on it, I would assume there. But if a Canadian distributor imports this from China, this part should not really go up in price. But this only pertains to these small dollar items here. So these small dollar items, the average car guy can probably stomach the little bit of added tariff if there happens to be one, moving from Mexico to the States to Canada, from China to the US to Canada, or if we buy these direct. But you should be able to handle a small little tariff that would probably be applied to these products. But what happens if we're buying a big dollar item? So let's have a look at a few bigger dollar items here, and to see where they're made and how that might affect your spending habits this year. Well, now let's look at some larger dollar items. I've got an alternator here. I think it's a 67 amp, and my car has a 47 amp alternator, a 37 amp or 47 amp alternator on it. I'm not sure. I think it's 37, and this is 67. I'm going to replace this at some point. My alternator is good, but I bought a spare just in case, and I bought the 67 amp. But again, it's a larger dollar item. So is this alternator going to see tariffs or not? And where is this alternator made? Well, again, it's a Napa remanufactured one, of course. You pretty much can't buy new anymore, but this is a Napa remanufactured alternator. And this alternator is a product of Mexico. So this alternator is in Mexico, and like I said with the smaller parts, if Napa directly imports this from Mexico to a Canadian warehouse, this should be fine. We shouldn't see a tariff price increase on this alternator. I'm not saying about every alternator, but this alternator we should probably be okay. Excuse me. Here I have a Holley quick fuel 450 CFM carburetor, and again, looking at all the Holley information that came with the carburetor, they have to disclose where this is made, and I can't find anywhere that says this carburetor is made anywhere else but the United States of America. Now, that's not saying that they've bought or had some of this linkage made in China, had some of the electric choke components made in China, had the choke plate here. Who knows if that was made in China? I don't see any stamps on it that says that it's made in China, but again, it very well could have some Chinese parts, but everything I can find on this carburetor says that it is an actual product of the United States of America. So this then would be subject to a tariff if the U.S. decides so to impose those on us. So a carburetor such as this that's worth X number of dollars, is going to increase $25 per 100. So a carburetor that was $400 today is going to cost you $500 US tomorrow if that happens. So that's a real big hit to the wallet if you're going to replace your fuel making it happener, if you so choose to do. So let's look at a couple other components I have for the car that I'm going to put on this year, and we'll see where those are made. I'll just clean these off the table quick. And I've been doing some exhaust work on the car, and I got a Flowmaster muffler here to put on the car, and or two of them to put on the car. And this Flowmaster muffler, I had it here. Again, the Flowmaster muffler, even though it's coming out of the States, is made in China. So if you can buy this from a Canadian distributor, and the Canadian distributor can import this from China, we should only be subject to whatever tariffs or taxes or import things that the distributor had applied to them when they imported this from China. So again, Flowmaster mufflers, you should be safe if you import this from, or sorry, if you buy this in Canada. If you buy it out of the States and the States has tariffs on China, then you're probably going to pay more for this out of the US. So again, look at that product to see actually where it's made. The last item up for bids here is my Pertronix billet HEI distributor. Now, this is a little bit of a brain teaser because the billet part of this distributor right here, as we see the billet part of this distributor right here on the box, says it's made in China. And the rest of it is made in the USA. Again, do they break down every part that's made in China? We know the billet part is. What about the shaft? What about the gear? Is the gear cast and machined in the States? Is the distributor cap machined and cast in the United States, or molded and assembled in the States? Not sure. So again, this might be an item that's going to be a real tricky deal for Pertronix to figure out how to charge, or what's going to happen. They will be charged a tariff on bringing the billet part from from China. They may be charged for buying some other parts for this distributor that's made in China, putting it into the distributor, and upping the overall cost of this. So again, I don't know how this is going to affect this distributor, if so in fact we have tariffs go on. But we know for sure that there's going to be tariffs on Chinese product going into the States. So this probably will be affected. Well, as you can see, these are my thoughts on what may and may not happen with a lot of these common parts that we may be upgrading to, or may need to change this year, or have to change. Again, the small ticket items may not cost us much to replace. They may stay the same in price, not exactly sure. The big ticket items, if the tariffs do go into effect, I'm sure it's going to affect things like this Holley carburetor, but who knows what's going to happen with the Pertronix distributor. You guys that watch the channel that are in the automotive business, or distributorship business, or repair automobiles, weigh in the comments, and let the rest of my viewers know that things might be fine, or what things might be affected. Again, just to get that out there, so guys are actually aware of what may and may not go up in price, or whatever. Again, just basically a very quick video to discuss some of this stuff. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for subscribing. And remember to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Later. Bye now.